Ooh, a hint.
What are you doing?
Melinda! Oh. Don't mind me. I was just so... Oh, I thought you were Jan for a second. Whew, wow.
Okay, why?
Oh, I'm just trying to get into his computer.
Why?
You see, there has been no skits, there has been no torture to me, no alternate dimension, Damian, nothing. So, I'm sussing this because, it's Jan. But once I find out what's going on, I'm gonna get him back.
You know, I really don't think he's actually up to anything.
It's Jan, there's always something going on. Always going on. Yeah.
Alright, well, good luck with that.
It's Jan!
Oh, I see. This is why you set me on the Marryot, isn't it? Well, you don't want me doing whatever it is that you guys are up to? Well, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just gonna go in and start the review now. Melinda, I'll see you in a few minutes.
You know, Damian, most normal people would actually be quite glad that they're not included in Jan's skits.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but again, it's Jan, and I have this feeling that he's up to something big, and I have this urge to, stop it.
Alrighty then. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go upstairs.
Okay, you do that, and Wait, Melinda!
What?
First rule of Fight Club.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, and welcome to the newest episode of The Oscar Goes To. I'm Jan-Michael,
And I'm Melinda.
and today's Oscar goes to Cavalcade. Oh, let's begin.
Alright, and today is a special review because this is the only Best Picture winner that you have never seen, correct?
Yes, I have seen every single Best Picture winner throughout my life. This is the only one that's ever really eluded me. So yes, first time seeing this one.
So to mark the special occasion, let's turn it to you and find out, what did you think?
I thought it was okay at best and very sloppy and discombobulating at worst. And a part of me wants to say that it is a product of the time and kind of give it the benefit of the doubt in that way, but there is another Best Picture winner that won a few years prior called All Quiet on the Western Front, which we have yet to review, which tackled very similar themes to this one, and it does it so much better. So I can't even quite defend Cavalcade to that degree. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of this one, unfortunately.
Okay then. Well, I would have to say that I agree with not really thinking that it was that good of a movie. The way that it was shot kind of reminded me of when they try to convert plays into movies and they kind of keep it in a theatrical kind of filming way. This was very much like that, but I don't know, it just didn't really go into the film portion very well for me.
Let's talk about the good for a second here, because I think everything else we're just gonna talk about the bad afterwards. The good. First, I gotta say I don't dislike the idea of the movie. I do like stories where you kind of see a family or a group of people throughout life, and seeing their highs and lows, the tragedies that they go through, the joys they go through. So I like the concept well enough. Again, like we said, it's just very sloppy in its execution. Another really good thing I gotta say is some of the acting is actually pretty good, especially from our two leads, the husband and wife, who the best thing that they do is as they get older, their body movement actually shows it. They slow down. Like very first part of the movie, they're very chipper and they're moving around a lot, and they have that mobility to them as young people do. And as they get older, they do that transformation and they talk slower, but in a very believable way. And yeah, I gotta say that's probably the best thing about it. Just the acting from these two actors, just superb job. And that's really the only positives I have about it.
Yeah, I'll agree. Those were probably the best points of the movie. Because everything else, it was really hokey. The writing and the way that they spoke, it was really unnatural. It's hard for me to watch movies like that because I've seen old movies and they know how to do natural. They were overly dramatic, overly excessive, overly excited, overly dramatic, like watching a play. Again, not transitioning well into like a movie setting. So that's really distracting for me personally.
Yes, I agree with you. I think a lot of the performances are too hokey, as we've come to call them. They don't seem genuine. It very much feels like a play, like these characters don't really know each other or aren't family members. And I think one of the worst things it does is it tries to make you feel sympathetic to some of the characters, especially when they pass away. But because a lot of it shifts in time, a lot of the kids kind of grow up and obviously are played by different actors. And so you kind of have to get to know that character again. But when they die, because you just kind of got to know them, you don't really feel the impact of the loss. And sometimes can even come off as comedic. Like the one scene where I started laughing where you have two of the kid characters, they grow up, they got married, and they're being overly melodramatic on this boat. And I'm like, good Lord, this feels like a parody of these type of scenes. And it just goes on for a while. And then finally they kind of move away and the camera zooms in on the boat they're at. And it's like, oh shit, it's the Titanic. And I just couldn't help but laugh. It felt like some sort of Saturday Night Live sketch or SNL where they're like, oh, we're going to be happy forever. Yay. Bum, 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 bum. And shows the Titanic. Oh boy, it didn't work.
I'm not afraid of anything. This is our own. Forever.
Okay, agreed. I did laugh at that too. But it seemed exactly like that. Like, you're like, oh, the Titanic. And you're like, oh, uh-oh. And then you realize, oh, they were serious. All right. They also were kind of hard to follow because of the time jumps. Because it was two families in the beginning. Then it becomes separate. Then the one family disappears completely. Then they're following the main family, which you figure out. And then somehow the other family kind of comes back and it was just really all over the place. It was just really difficult. And I don't really care for a lot of the characters. The only person that was all right was there was a drunk dad in there, and Wynyard drunk dad's fun, but he was more like a comedy relief you would see in those movies. You know, he seemed more natural for the time of comedy. But other than that, everything else, oh my gosh, the love stories were like, ugh. And then, you know, you get to the end and you're like, well, there was no payoff here.
And very discombobulating. Like the last couple of scenes where it's like they play the exact same scenes over and over again, and it's overly
oh my
loud.
God, I forgot.
And you're just,
Oh
it's
my
driving
God.
you insane. And I'm like, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. Stop. I get war is bad. War is evil. We don't, like, you made your point. Move on. And again, you haven't seen it yet, but when we go and see All Quiet on the Western Front, they do something similar, but it is executed so much better. So, yeah, now it makes me want to watch that film.
That scene went on forever. I must have blocked it out from my mind to save space. But yeah, they're just putting like image and image over like people dying out in war, right? Different deaths. Just going on for like 20 minutes. I'm like, what is happening here? Oh my God.
Very discombobulating.
So, Jan-Michael, despite what we've said here with our critiquing 2020, you know, eyes of current trends, would you recommend Cavalcade today's audience, and do you think it should have won the Oscar?
I would not recommend it to today's audiences. I think a lot of modern audiences are going to find it very dull and boring. And even if you're a film buff like I am, again, you're going to find things to compare it to that have done the same thing so much better. Heck, even older films, as I've mentioned multiple times now, have done it better. So this is an easy skip. And no, it should not have won the Oscar. I'm not familiar with the other films it was up against, but good Lord, there had to be something better. This is probably one of the worst ones we've seen.
Yeah, unless you're a film major, there is no reason for anyone from today's audience to see it. So agreed. And I can't imagine there was not something better that year that could have beat this movie. So I don't think it should have won the Oscar, and hopefully it really wasn't that bad of a year.
Oh, just you wait, Jan. Once I find out your freaking password, I will become victorious. I will have reached the ultimate success of destroying your channel and you.
Damian! Jesus Christ, dude, it's late. Can you maybe plot my downfall a little bit more quietly?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Just you wait, Jen.
Shh.
I wanna take you for a ride.